Good evening, everyone. I'm Glenda Dawson. This is LD, and this is Glenda's Dragon's Den on the Glenda's Magical Creations channel on the Conscious Awakening Network, which is on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and a whole bunch of other places. So please look us up, download the app, Conscious Awakening Network, and you'll be able to see all the programming there for various things. But, check me out, Glenda's Magical Creations.
And we're part of Alpha Centauri, right?
Anyway, so for those that have never seen this, we always like to start with we're sorry or I'm sorry, kind of apologizing ahead of time because we go everywhere and it just goes wherever. And, it has to do with him, but that's okay. Anyway, so tonight we have a phenomenal channeler who channels Mary Magdalene. And she is known as the Oracle of Union Square in New York.
And if you've ever been to Union Square, you know that's a hell of an oracle.
So, we'd like to welcome Marianna Leah. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Glad to be here with the both of you. It's such an honor.
Oh, thank you for being here with us. It's great to have you and, get to know you a little more.
Thank you for tearing yourself away from the farmer's market.
Well, the farmer's market closes at around 5 o'clock, but the oracles are all out, from either side.
Anyway, so tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got here, a little bit, whatever you would like to share.
Of course.
Because everybody will do their own research, of course, afterwards.
Of course. I was just going to add the Whole Foods is still open at this time, but anyway.
So snack time is definitely a definite. Okay.
Oh, yeah, indeed. But I like to spend my nights, kind of like either hanging out with the living or the dead, whichever one. It's perfectly good.
With me, you get your choice.
That's a wonderful thing. It's always great out there. That's great.
Give me my profile.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Love hanging out with the both of you and getting to know you guys better also. My most newest known version of myself is actually, I do channel the Divine Feminine, not only Mary Magdalene, but we do channel Isis, we channel most of the Divine Feminine, but my most favorite one is the Angelic Quantum Vector Healing practice that I'm level 3, going into level 4 pretty soon. And it's a type of healing that's very unique, where we're actually able to access individuals' subconscious and be able to see different things with their permission, of course, their past lifetimes, their karmic patterns, and be able to help individuals clear different things from their karma, but also from their patterns, their behaviors, and different threads, and go deep into their cellular deep tissue to see what happens with them and how it is relatable to their life in the current moment. And that is my favorite healing practice. Aside from that, I'm a natural born medium, a psychic counselor, oracle, as people know me. I wouldn't
Since
say
you
oracle.
brought it up,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, LD.
we aren't always the same gender in past lives. Is that your experience?
That is definitely my experience.
So your practice isn't only open to women?
No, my practice is open to everyone.
And I think, given how you've introduced it, I think it's important for people to know that regardless of what you have below the waist, they can still be helped by you in this lifetime.
In any lifetime, in any way. It doesn't matter gender, religion, all walks of life. That's the greatest thing about this practice, is that it's all walks of life, and it has had a lot of success. People have definitely shifted their lives, shifted their trajectories. It's such a rewarding. It really has been. It's a blessing. It's a
Well, if
blessing.
I
Not
didn't
only
believe in it, I wouldn't have made it clear that 50% of your audience is now inclusive. So you're among friends here. I know it may not feel that way sometimes, but you should be her.
Absolutely.
She gets combat pay now.
Hence why I come to the center a couple of days a week by myself.
And apologizes before we even start.
Yes. Yes. I can
Meanwhile,
understand
please
that very clearly.
So, what else? I know that isn't all of it.
Oh no. Far from it. Far from it. My deepest thing that I love doing the most is being able to, believe it or not, being a medium, because I get to help families who have lost loved ones, and to be able to bring closure into their lives. That is it hits close to home, and it's really personal to me in many ways. And this is very rewarding for me, because it helps me. Now, when you do the healing, it's giving and receiving. So in every healing that you do, you help, you assist, and I'm just a facilitator. I'm the vehicle that helps to make that happen. And that's actually the humble beginnings that I had as being the Oracle of Union Square. That's really what I was known for. So that's really important to me in many ways. But yeah, being a channel is, I think, mediumship, channeling, it's all, anyone can be that. It's about opening up to your gift and being able to awaken to that and remember that. And this has been the most rewarding part of my life in many, many ways.
I thought it was this show.
Oh yeah.
See, she went right with that. I like that. Yeah, it didn't throw her at all. Yeah.
Yes, I can pick up intuitive things, Yeah.
Rumor has it.
Rumor has it, it's kind of a gift, I guess.
But you've been very busy this year, haven't you?
Yeah, on Roku with 3 Witches on a What, even though we're still trying to figure out what a what is.
He was declaring himself the what, just for the record.
Right. Well, when we figure out what is the what, we'll let everyone know what it is. It's kind of really cool, though, to figure out. Honestly, it's very cool going episode to episode and not knowing what it is until we figure it out. It's awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Waiting for the audience to really start emailing to let us know. So what they think it is.
Absolutely.
So, Glenda comes home with that look on her face and said, "Oh, you had another episode."
We'll be traveling. We'll be traveling around the world and be like, "Oh, look, it's the third witch." Which one?
Which witch is which?
Focus has nothing on us. That's for sure.
Oh, Lordy.
And the funniest part is that I went from being the host of the Magdalena Chronicles to the third witch. Suffice it to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be ringing in the new year with the 3 Witches and a What? Yes. Not with Psychic NYC. God bless Psychic NYC, though, and Scott. Definitely. Humble beginnings on that. But you know what? Magdalena Chronicles will make its comeback very soon. And that's a surprise.
Okay. I won't tell a soul. And I'm sure our audience won't say anything either.
Hey, might be a book later. Hint, hint.
Who knows?
As long as the Campfire Marshmallow Man stays out of Times Square, we're all golden.
Can't promise that, but also probably will be spending New Year's at the New Year's ball this year. So that should be very fun. And one of our Facebook friends, Monica Ramirez, will probably be joining me on New Year's
Oh,
Eve.
nice, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, nice. Yes, we finally connected, and she's like super,
Amazing.
super good soul, man. Beautiful.
Amazing. She has a beautiful podcast, Warrior of Love. Beautiful. I was on one of her episodes too, so she's really good. And yeah, we'll be doing a lot more work. We actually are coming up with a summit for a fundraiser for domestic violence, international one. So that should be
Nice.
really fun. Oh yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
That is very important.
Yeah.
So, you know, I tell us about your DNA work.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me about that.
Of course.
I do DNA activation, which is where we actually go into the subconscious of an individual. It's part of the angelic vector healing, but it's on a little bit of a different level. We go into the subconscious with the big disclaimer. It has to be with permission. That's according to universal law. And we see how we can activate the individual's DNA through recalibrating and recapitulating actually their former past life deep cellular memory. And when their core root awakens and parts of their DNA starts to awaken, it is a remarkable experience because I've seen people actually change the way they walk, change the way they speak, change the way they articulate things, their words. They go through their experiences. They have like either a Kundalini awakening or they have an Ascension symptoms. A lot of times people say, okay, well, I'm having a cold, but it's not. It's basically their DNA recalibrating itself. And people have changed their lives dramatically through that. And it helps people to make different decisions, realign themselves to what their true life purpose is, understand their true life purpose, balance their divine feminine, divine masculine, and be able to become fully in alignment with what they are meant to do in this world and how they're meant to live, and establish a lot more joy and happiness and be able to provide that for others and anyone that they come in contact with. It's a really rewarding practice. And I've done it internationally and I've done it for many years.
Yes, I think that was one of the ways we first met because you were speaking about it in one of the Wish Alliance, which is formerly Wish Alliance, now is Galactic Alliance.
That's right.
Now tell us about your role there.
I'm an ambassador for the formerly known Wish Alliance, currently known Galactic Alliance, and I couldn't be more proud. Sheila Seppi's the founder. She's an amazing, amazing soul, and I believe, just like yourself, Glenda, a way shower in the current times. And definitely, both of you guys are spiritual leaders and more. And it's an amazing thing to be an ambassador because you get to represent a global, international community of people that are taking their gifts and committing to having their presence on this planet, being a vessel for the collective, being an advocate for the collective, and helping the awakening process and the ascension process, and really recalibrating the entire human collective consciousness on many different levels. And I'm proud to be part of this incredible community. I really am. We make history. I really do believe that.
Yes. And I think that by helping even one person, that person, it just goes on and on and on and on. So that's the whole idea, right?
That's what we're here for. I truly believe we are all messengers.
Yes.
And whatever walk of life we are walking, whatever path it is, our truest mission on this planet, I believe that since I was a child, is to be able to give the message. And what is the message? Vibration of unconditional love, bringing that back onto this planet and kind of affecting in the most positive way anyone we come in contact with, because we're rotating. It's almost like a spin cycle, the vibration of love back and forth. We give and we receive that, and it's the most wonderful thing to be able to provide that for each person, each soul, especially in a time like now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very passionate about that. Very, very.
The people that only listened to the Beatles 55 years ago.
Amen. I listened to the Beatles when I was a kid. John Lennon. That's right. That's right. That's right.
All you need is love.
All you need
That's
is
right.
love.
That's right.
And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make.
And the love you give.
So, tell us a little more, because I know you got a lot of stuff there. Come on. Spill the beans, woman. Spill the beans.
Don't make me drag it out of you.
Oh, you don't want him to drag it out of you.
Ooh, that gets messy.
Oof.
Well, which direction do you want me to go? Are we talking about divine feminine, angelics, near death, mediumship, not seances?
I like seances.
I
love
know. You're like the
those.
Sanderson sisters. I get that. I know.
Come on. You know,
The Ukrainian
it's got a
part
bad
of me.
rap. It's got a bad rap. But
No.
really, it's the same thing as anything else.
That's right.
It's just bring in that energy and let them
Just check your
communicate.
Ouija board at the door.
Yes, please. No Ouija boards.
Yeah, me and Ouija boards, we don't go together. And I've
Not a
spent a lot of time in Salem, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll tell you, never hit one single Ouija board in my life. I do not. I mean, God bless anyone that does. Most respectful, whatever rocks your boat, but me and Ouija boards, we don't go together. Definitely not.
No.
I'm very sensitive on that. Very sensitive.
I
Yeah.
am too. My take on it is anybody that needs the board shouldn't be opening the portal.
Well, that's the thing. That's actually bringing to a good point, because as from what I understand, when I did a lot of my awakening process and when I did a lot of my journeying, because I do shamanic energy practice also and shamanic energy healing, I've also learned that I'm almost like a vortex of my own, and I'm like a walking portal.
Right.
And what we called is the nexus points. I used to actually do a lot of clearings in different places throughout the world. One of them I was blessed to do was I got called in to do Edgar Cayce Center one time. There was something going on. I can't discuss it in detail, but we were called in, my friend and I, to do that. And then after that, I did a session of past life regression and learned a couple of things about past lives within my own field, but also that I'm a nexus point. Nexus points means that I'm almost like a walking vortex, like a portal. So for someone like myself, doing a Ouija board is definitely a big no-no. Big no-no.
We could all be portals.
Well, of course.
You know, the reason you're more connected because you have embraced the gifts and have decided to develop them. But anybody who doesn't really know about their gifts or doesn't acknowledge them opens this Ouija board, they leave it open, they walk away because they didn't get the answer they wanted or whatever. And there's, everything coming in that we don't know what comes in. You can't really always control it. So, especially when they walk away. So that's our problem with Ouija boards. I mean, I've had to bury enough of those,
Not the people, the boards.
The boards.
The boards.
Although,
Yeah, well.
Okay. I have been thinking of getting a
backhoe.
Yeah, for the backyard.
Because the front hose just attracts too much attention.
Oh my God. Well, did you bury them in the ground to ground them at least in the soil?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All good stuff. That's just,
One thing
I have mentioned a couple of times that there might be a hole in the ground at some point and he goes missing. Just ignore it. Continue walking.
Keep telling her there's not an auger big enough.
like, is that like the Bermuda Triangle kind of?
Kind of, yes, yes.
The
I do have underwater springs, okay, and I do have lines there and kind of like a vortex in my own backyard. And all the properties there, they're very old, so so whatever gets buried there stays there for a long time.
Understandable. I did a lot of vortex healing sessions. I actually had a friend of mine that did vortex healing with me as I was grounding during my beginnings of awakening. I would be like the substation, I called vortex. And so everywhere I went, attracted guests.
Yeah.
Wanted and unwanted.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, and that happens when you have like holes in your auric field, due to trauma. And so I had to work with that, but that's a lot of good shadow work for people that do go through trauma and are doing shadow work. It's very important. And I had to go through a lot of dark nights of the soul.
Yeah, you have to go into the dark to then go into the light, basically. So,
Queen of that.
So I have to ask you about your love yoga.
Yes. That's part of the dark night of the soul. A prime example of that. Actually, it's about to be a decade old. I'm very proud of it because it's my baby. The origin of it is the Kemetic yoga, and it's two parts. So it's the yoga and the Light of Love meditation program. And it started in 2013. I'm a brain aneurysm survivor and a pulmonary embolism survivor. So 2013 was like one of those years where you're lucky to be alive. So I actually taught the yoga back to back. I had multiple classes on a walker and a cane. On a walker for 3 months and a cane for 9 months. I had to relearn how to walk, how to dance, and how to speak properly. And that was an amazing journey because I can't say enough about the yoga because it helps. It's not only the practice of the yoga itself, because it has the most ancient roots. It's 5,000 years old, rooted from Kemet, Egypt. It's the origins of it is the original yoga. That's what gave way to every other strand. And so what I did was I was in a car accident where I suffered 5 sprains, and I needed to figure out how to be able to fix my back. So I started to look into different yoga versions, and I found the Kemetic yoga. Kemetic yoga is very difficult in its root itself. And so what I was able to do was reconstruct it, working with physical therapists, and actually studied the Kemetic yoga in itself, and reconstructed it to fit the needs of the older population, which is 60 and over, the disabled population. So my oldest student was 94 on a wheelchair. You're able to do this yoga with no special clothing. There's no mats required. You can be on a walker, you can be on a cane, you can be on a wheelchair. You could have arthritis. I mean, it's physically geared to help you with arthritis, fibromyalgia, cancer, lymphoma, dementia, Alzheimer's. And for children, we've been done it with children. It helps with post-traumatic stress disorder, any types of PTSD, actually, trauma, seizures. I mean, you can name it. And I've had 30 people successfully, literally bypass the need for surgery, whether it be on their shoulders or their back or their knees. I've actually had a cancer patient successfully be able to lower their blood pressure and recover from cancer.
Oh, sounds wonderful. Sounds
wonderful. Yeah. I mean, it was great. Yeah.
And you were not going to talk about that. Come on.
No, I was going to leave it to the beautiful Glenda to talk about.
I didn't talk about it. I just dropped the coin.
So how do people reach you if they want more information about this?
Sure. I'm a very open person, very approachable. So they could actually reach me directly at my email, at leahmarianna55@gmail.com, or they can go on the Facebook and they can contact me to Messenger on Marianna Leah on Facebook.
There you go. There you go. And so there's more. Come on.
Of course. Of course. To add to everything, I do want to, mention about the Mary Magdalene part of it. Why? Because right now, on Earth, especially as we're going into 2023, we are gearing into a very critical role of our awakening process within the human collective consciousness, which is going to be so geared towards the reconnection of the divine feminine and divine masculine, and it coming back into balance within the Vesica Pisces. So what is the Vesica Pisces? That's the sacred geometry. That's the root core of all the other patterns of the flower of life and more. And so I see, and I've been channeled primarily from the Christ consciousness, as we come closer to the new year, that 2023 and going forward for the next 7 years and up is going to be critical to establishing balance on this planet and establishing the roles of the togetherness and the unity between the divine feminine and divine masculine. And this is why we have so much chaos ensuing on the planet, even more and more and more, why it has been so intense and the energies have been so intense since November. And they're going to continue to become more increasingly intense. So as the divine feminine is more and more prevalent on the planet, and it's going to be kicking in more, and it's going to be very visible, very, very visible. I'm actually, Phil Gruber and I are in the process of doing an itinerary for a trip to France in May with Finbar Ross, and stay tuned because we're going to be giving out the announcements about that. But that is where we're going to really hone in and anchor in more and more and more of the divine feminine energy. And also Israel. I'm going to be returning back to Israel this coming year. And I'm going to be leading a group into Magdala, which is what's believed to be the hometown of Mary Magdalene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful trip because we're going to be able to really deeply connect to the roots, not only of the divine feminine stemming from Egypt onwards, but into the Magdalene lineage. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Sounds like a wonderful trip. Sounds like a wonderful trip. Yes.
You are coming back, though.
Of course.
Okay.
Maybe two witches going to get her if she doesn't.
We might.
Send the what?
She'll send the what? Okay, we'll send the what to go get you if you don't come back.
Hey, we could do virtual and physical, and we could all do a nice, beautiful Three Witches and a What and Glenda's Dragon then episode between France and Israel.
There you go.
Just stay out of Egypt because then it turns into a pyramid scheme.
I have to stay out of Egypt because I may not come back then.
I didn't want to go that dark, but okay.
Speaking of which, I did visit the King Tut exhibit that just ended in New York. And what an exhibit. Truly, what an exhibit. Connecting to that is really, really remarkable. That was the first time in history that the archaeologists really showed the evidence about King Tut. And you could learn about him as if he was a real life person right now. Mm-hmm. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. The process of that. And you could actually see not only the mummification process, not only the sarcophagus, but you could actually look at King Tut and how he looked. Like that was absolutely incredible. They even brought out games, like board games that they played in Egypt. It was really, really, I channel light language. and I do automatic writing and scrying. And to be able to go there and see the sarcophagus and the hieroglyphics, and to be able to recognize the hieroglyphics that I've channeled, that was an awakening for me.
Were the board games still in the box from Mohammed Bradley?
No, they were taken out of the box. There's a lot of children playing with it.
Oh, okay. That's,
Well, the
I
game
like
is
it when they
called,
think out of the box.
it's actually interesting. The game is called Senet, Senet, and it's like a modern day chess and checkers, more like chess. Yeah,
See?
yeah,
It's wonderful. We keep that knowledge and we bring it out every so often, right?
yeah. Beautiful.
So, now what do you have going like in March?
Oh, in March. Yes. I'm
Yes.
very proud to announce that in March, I am going to be producing my own show, working together with the PTA show, Portal to Ascension show, together with Neil Gower, Joan of Angels, with Shayla Sananda, and Shariah Dharma. Those are the producers. Now, my beautiful guest for this incredible show, which is called Galactic Shamanism, which I think is going to play a pivotal role for 2023, because galactic shamanism in general, is going to become a lot more widely spread next year, and it's going to become a way of life for millions and millions and millions of people. Now that it isn't already, but is going to become like moth to a flame, like alternative medicine. That's what I feel. Like,
Right.
really. Reiki and shamanism is going to take a huge role next year. And my beautiful guest, I'm so proud to announce, is going to be you, Glenda Dawson.
Really?
So,
I didn't
oh,
know.
really?
Some medium you are.
Oh, yeah. Our great friend, who's the third, well, she's the second witch, right? The first
Yeah.
witch is Glenda. Second witch is Mary Nunes.
You know, I remember the Seuss book where they all had numbers, but I didn't realize the witches had numbers. But okay.
Yes, we had numbers, maybe back in the 1600s during Nathaniel Hawthorne's time, but that doesn't matter. Anyway.
No, that's when the numbers were up.
They went down by 1692, but anyway. Who's talking? Anyway, Mary Nunes from Warriors Light and Three Witches and a What is going to be on the show. We're going to have Geraldine Orozco on the show, with Shayla Sananda on the show, and we are going to actually have a beautiful presentation, musical, live with Haruka Blue Star Child. I don't know if she's going to be live from Mount Shasta or it's going to be from her new album. We're still reconstructing that, but it's going to be an amazing, amazing show. And the last guest,
are we going to have?
Well, the last guest is going to be Sheila Seppi, founder of the Galactic Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
What a
and
show!
Of Conscious Awakening Network.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. So
that's right.
she's very amazing. So we have
right.
a good group. I think we're going to have lots of fun and give a lot of information. And anybody who shows up, I am sure will get a lot of those aha moments. Because once we start putting all those dots together, they're going to be like going, oh, yeah, oh.
Well, Neil just had his Portal to Ascension show this evening.
Oh,
very, very successful. These shows get like hundreds of people, if not more, of viewers. Mm-hmm. It's a very popular show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. It's a variety show.
He worked very hard for it. So, he worked, he put in his time. So now it's good. So, and we're spreading a lot of healing.
Oh, yeah.
By all this stuff. So, so what else? You have more in your little storage box there, Mama. Come on.
Oh, yes. Well, of course. like I said, I will be bringing back the Magdalena Chronicles. Hopefully, Sheila and I are talking about bringing it back to Roku.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a variety show of its own. So I'm also going to include musical guests, and it'll be like more like a round table, but also very live and very interactive. Glenda, we'll talk about that. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge, poke, poke. Say no more. Say no more.
That's right. um, Definitely working on a book that's going to be coming out within the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the book is going to be called Let Your Pain Teach You Something. And that book is going to be talking about the ways that trauma affects us on a deep cellular level and how we can recover from it, techniques and tools to get through it, and what lessons are we learning that pain allows us to teach, and how to take pain into a more of a positive perception instead of a negative.
Right.
That's a much better title than the book my father used, which was "I'll Give You Something to Cry About." But that's another story.
Speaking of that, disclaimer, in that book, I will be making very clear, crying is not a sign of weakness. It's a healing mechanism.
So if I understand you correctly, crying does pay.
Crying is a good thing.
There you go.
Maybe not during Pink Floyd days, but crying is a good thing.
Or on the Roy Orbison retrospective.
The good old Roy Orbison. That's right.
So
That's right.
You're gearing up to do the book.
Yep.
Gearing up to do those 2 shows at least.
Those 2 trips.
The few trips. I am so looking forward to seeing pictures and videos and all that.
We're working on virtual, so we might actually have a virtual option. So we'll see. We'll see how we're gonna do it. We'll see. Maybe 3 witches and a what will end up in St. Bomb somehow, or Mount Saint Michelle, or in Paris live. Hint, hint.
What is that? Oh, I don't know.
Let me know when you guys have the remote viewing option. That's the one I jump on.
Why? We have that every day.
Exactly. That's why I jump on it.
And it's free now. Oh yeah, and Reiki, by the way, Glenda. I didn't mention that too. I'm going to be going back into doing the Reiki clinics here in New York because I'm Japanese style Reiki level 3 practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that because I truly, just like Mary Nunes, is very passionate about Reiki, and so is you, Glenda. Tremendously grateful to know both of you. I am extremely passionate about Reiki. I truly do believe that it's the best healing mechanism there is, and I'm looking forward to that. And also, the rejuvenation part and looking younger and all that.
That's the part you want, I know.
No, the part I want, no. Really focusing on healing because, there's a lot of illnesses and viruses and things going on right now, especially in New York, is, if you all seen the health advisories. So Reiki is definitely going to be picking up.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I've kept running the Reiki clinic every Monday night. It's virtual, it's in person, because everybody deserves healing.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves healing.
Yeah.
So now Japanese style, okay? So did you have, like myself, well, you lived in New York, so it doesn't make any difference for you. But I had to go to New York. And they would come once a year. And they would teach in a big auditorium. And you couldn't write any notes. You couldn't do anything with the symbols. You had to keep it all up here.
Oh, that is so last millennium.
Yeah, so last millennium. Anyway. And you were sweating because if they tested you the next day and you didn't know, something, you were like, oh my God, you know. And I remember those trips, they were intense. And now everything is out. What people don't understand is that in the very beginning, those symbols were so sacred.
Yes, they were.
They're still supposed to be sacred,
Of
even
course.
though anybody could come and learn Reiki now. But
Yeah.
you know, when they put it all over the internet, they people think, oh, I got these symbols, I could do whatever. But what they don't realize, if you're not attuned to that energy, that frequency, it's either not going to work or backfire.
Yes, it will.
You know,
Absolutely.
so
She still makes me close my eyes when she does those symbols. I can only look when she gives me the finger.
I
That's
remember
the I've seen.
my
And not
favorite
just from her.
moment.
That one's a lot more out there.
My favorite moment, I'll never forget it, was when I call him my teacher, Yohanan, when he gave me the incense from Japan. That was so beautiful. And I went home and I remember sleeping for like at least 2 days in pure peace. And I'm so passionate about it. I really am. Yeah. And I do feel that these symbols are extremely sacred. And you can't just, it's a very sacred practice.
Yes.
And I believe that in the world like we have today, with the medicine like we have today, Reiki, and especially I mean, prior to the pandemic, and you said it too, Glenda, Reiki was already becoming very well established in schools and universities and hospitals.
Yep.
I believe it still will, and it will continue. And I think as numbers will continue to rise or rise or fall, or whatever it is, and they're saying that COVID is coming back now with a great vengeance, and RSV, Reiki should be instrumental and pivotal. Those symbols should be like the Bible right now for all of us. Honestly, it should be the guidebook, because that's channeled, that's energy, that's life force, that's divine.
Yes.
It should be put out to everyone in every age group, non-discriminatory of race, gender, creed, or religion. It should be for everyone from all walks of life, because you know what? It works. It has to work. And it is divine. It comes from the universe. It comes from God. That's just my passionate spiel.
That being said,
Yeah.
I can't subscribe to the concept that a virus comes back with a vengeance. A lot of what's going on is people are getting very complacent and they're not taking the precautions that they took to keep the virus from being as contagious as it was, and as it's becoming again, because it's going to take its opportunity. And so, that's a choice people are making, and they're going to have to reconcile that choice. So, Reiki notwithstanding, and Reiki certainly helps the immune system, and fear certainly hurts the immune system. But there's a lot to be said for washing hands and not going out if you're not feeling well, and all the other things that people are ignoring these days.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I was, as part of my job in the beginning of COVID, I was frontline personnel, essential personnel. I still am, as part of what we were doing, because we were, our company is funded by the New York City Department for the Aging, my regular job. And, we had to be out when everyone else was home. And we were knocking door to door and still leaving, food and delivering food and working with DoorDash and making sure and doing the casework and making sure people were okay during the pandemic. So, I mean, it's hard. It's challenging. And hygiene in general, I mean, should be there whether there's a pandemic or not.
Very true.
taking precaution. It doesn't take a pandemic to take precaution. We all should be taking precaution, either or. You know, that's what I truly believe.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm.
Very true.
Yeah.
And so you're deciding to open up a Reiki clinic or Reiki healing,
That's right.
and um, you're going to also offer any of the other stuff there, or okay?
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm gonna try to see if I could work with some of the. I'm looking towards the New York Theosophical Society to see, because they do have space, and where
Mhm.
we could actually start doing and get a group together. And maybe even if you want to come and, like, do virtual, do physical, do the yoga there, do the meditation there, do the Reiki clinic there, at least once a week or twice a month, and do the angelic quantum vector healing, do the
Mhm.
energy reading, psychic counseling, DNA activation, which is very important. Yeah, and go full throttle in 2023. Absolutely.
Good, good.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
absolutely.
Um, so for viewers that don't know you,
Okay.
they think that you just always suddenly became, and we all know that that's not how it happens. We all have to go through the shedding process, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's where I needed to be. Okay. So would you like to share a little bit of your journey?
Absolutely. Well, for those that don't know, I actually come from Ukraine. I come from Kiev. I came to the United States in '92 when I was 8.5. Chernobyl survivor. Chernobyl was the nuclear reactor accident that happened in 1986. I was 3 years old, and my life has been pretty impacted because of the accident, health-wise. And it also helped to open up a lot of my gifts psychically and in mediumship. When I was 6 years old, I was in a near fatal car accident and had a near death experience, and also a walk in. And that actually opened up my mediumship much more and my psychic ability. I suffered what the neuroscientists and the neurologists call the butterfly effect, where your brain is associating death and is pretty much already at that stage to understand that the life has ended. But then, the events that have occurred, the body can't catch up to the fact that you're still alive. And that's what happened. A lot of children that suffer post-traumatic stress disorder go through something like that, those kinds of experiences. And it's very difficult to get past them. And sometimes it takes a lifetime. So I've actually spent most of my life, I'm 39 now, recovering from that. And that's going to be in the book called Let Your Pain Teach You Something, to help people get through these traumatic events. And then following the car accident, my neighbor's mother died, and from cancer. Her body was flown in from Germany, and I had a mediumship experience where top of the casket fell on top of me, because back in Ukraine, as I'm sure many countries in Europe as well, funerals were held inside the home.
Mhm.
And well, the top of the casket was left outside, suffice it to say.
Oh, okay.
And that was my first mediumship experience. So it wasn't scary. It was quite peaceful. The humans made it scary. They saw that happening by screaming, "Oh my God, where are your parents?" But suffice it to say, I came home with some guests. And so these guests followed me for a good number of 6 months, where every night, aside from the fact that I had PTSD, they would, remind me of themselves at 12 o'clock midnight until the next morning. And then even when I came to America, that was also a very fun factor. Suffice to say, I had not gone to or near a funeral home without having palpitations for a long time, until later on in life, when I became a journalist and had to actually, as part of a story, identify someone who died in a undertow wave. And so that was a very difficult process of having to go to the coroner's office and identify the body. But hey, fear definitely out the window at that point. So that's a good thing. And also a very big confirmation about being a medium, because I was able to communicate with the dead. Not especially with that incident, but following that years later, it helped me quite a bit. So I am grateful for every experience I've had. My awakening really began in 2011 when I suffered from seizures, and I had a major seizure at work, and I had a huge vision. And when I woke up, I was actually written down in Aramaic, light language, and in English, a big, giant message, which I've actually followed through for quite some time and tried to kind of like depict, decipher. I'm still working on it. I started getting deeply into the Dead Sea Scrolls. And in 2018, I actually visited Israel for an international journey spiritually, to be able to do a lot of grid work. And I was able to go to Qumran and see the Dead Sea Scrolls myself in person. So that was really rewarding. Following that, I connected more and more to the Magdalene lineage, and that's how I also started to become a channel for that. But in 2016, that's really where I started to get into realizing my past lives, being able to start doing the Reiki. That's when I started doing classes, being able to get into the angelic quantum vector healing and DNA activation. So I would say 2016 was really the pivotal year for my awakening journey. But hey, I'm still in the process. I'm still in the school. I have a long journey to go, and that's the whole point of it being so fun for me. I enjoy that. I enjoy every moment of being in school. I did that even when I was a kid. I would give myself extra homework. That's right.
I just want to make something clear for those who may not understand it. People hear yoga, and the vision they get is that that's a practice that has to be done every day, and not everybody is ready to make that commitment. But then there's the DNA activation you do. And I don't think we've been clear on the commitment that a client has to give to that.
Oh, okay. Actually, that's a really great question. No one's ever asked me that. That's very nice. I love questions.
I'm not here for my looks, kid.
Well, your looks are good, so I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So your vision's been affected as well. But meanwhile, what is the commitment that a client has to give to a DNA activation?
There is no commitment. They have to come in with an open heart and be established.
Well, that's a commitment for a lot of people. Let me tell you something. There's not a lot of open hearts running around naked out there.
All I ask, I don't ask much. I just ask, just be open. If it's meant for them, if it's something that calls to them, if it's aligned to them energetically, they will know. And I say they will come. It's not for everyone. It's whoever is really called to do it. It could take one session or it could take 2 sessions. It really depends on what the individual's soul or oversoul really is asking for or requiring at that specific moment.
Within 1 or 2 sessions, however, that's their commitment. They don't have to go every day. They don't have to go. And approximately how long is a session?
1 to 2 hours.
So, you know, that's a commitment some people might be comfortable making. And the ability to be awakened through that is tremendously beneficial.
Yeah.
So, you know, people that want to get a jump start to this, that might be a good option for them.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they can graduate to the yoga if they want. But here, you know, 1 or 2 sessions, an hour or 2 commitment per, you know, that's something almost anybody can do. if they seriously want to go through the evolution and have their gifts awakened.
Yeah, I don't ask much. And it's not, you know what, it's really what the person's soul is really needing at that time, what their journey is, what their awakening process. It's really for them. You know, I'm just here to facilitate. I'm just a messenger. That's really all it is. I just make it as simple as possible, affordable, most decent as possible. I work with people. I understand people. I understand people's situations and circumstances. And yeah.
And we're within about 5 minutes left in the show. So once again, for those people who are tardy, how do they get a hold of you?
Sure. They can email me directly. I'm very approachable at Leah, Leah, Marianna, Marianna 55 at gmail.com. Or they can just look me up on Facebook at Marianna Leah. Very simple.
Same spelling.
Same spelling.
Okay. And of course, email, that's all lowercase.
All lowercase. All
Yeah.
lowercase.
Well, good.
Yes.
Oh, it looks like somebody actually put it up for us.
Yes. They did.
Oh,
Thank you, engineer.
So, any last words that you want to share with us?
Sure. Just wishing everyone the most safest, most healthiest holiday season. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you and connecting with all of you now and in the future. And I really, really pray that next year is going to be the most amazing, most abundant, most successful, healthy, happy, joyous year for us all as the whole collective. Really.
Well, we all have to do our part to make that happen.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, it will happen if that's where we set our intention and that's what we all work towards. But it's up to us. Nobody's going to do the work for us.
Of course. I always say breathe into life what you purely intend to happen. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd like to say thank you to our audience. They are wonderful.
What the hell did they do? They just showed up.
We want to get emails from you.
Oh, we'll get emails now.
Yeah,
we'll get emails.
We want emails. Just letting us know feedback, what you want to, maybe you have a subject or someone you would like to hear from. Just email me at glendasdragonsden@gmail.com or glendasmagicalcreations@gmail.com. Either way. And I'm found everywhere, anytime. Just look for me. And I like to just say that next week's guest is going to be Mary Edwards. She will tell us about her life. She experienced a lot of things from our galactic families, and she's very, very interesting person, very knowledgeable, and I hope you guys can be here. Again, we're going to be here on Wednesday, December 21st at 9 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully everybody stays well. Everybody stays safe. Thank you, Marianna. Always a pleasure. You know that.
And, you know, everybody, you know where to find Marianna. Glenda can be found everywhere. I'm basically unfounded.
He's unfounded. You don't want to find
You don't want to find me.
That's okay.
And you don't want me to find you.
All right. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you.